Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, time for another review. Today we'll be looking at the Audeze LCD-X, which I've owned for about a year now, and they haven't actually seen that much use. As to why, I'll get to in a moment. First off, let's talk about the physical bits, as usual. The cable, which I don't have on me at the moment, it's over there. It's the same as with all the other models. It's a crappy thin cable that I quite frankly find a disgrace to even try to sell with a headphone at this price. The packaging is very sturdy. It's the usual suitcase box you get with them, in a very bland cardboard box. But it does the job and it's very good for further transportation afterwards. The headphones themselves are built like every other Audeze, except the rings are metal on these instead of wood. So that means leather, very sturdy, very well made. Nice cloth on the inside, metal grill on the sides, the felt in there, which as always is a bit it gets a bit, well, over time it starts to sort of try to escape from the mesh, if you will. Which doesn't look very nice, and I'm guessing if you aren't too careful with them you might get a lot of dirt stuck in it, which will probably be very difficult to remove. But I do suspect that if you wanted to, it would be fairly simple to replace it by just undoing these screws and Bob's your uncle. So by and large the physical aspects are, as always with Audeze, pretty outstanding. Oh yeah, also these connectors, angled 4-pin XLR connectors, mini XLR, nothing to complain about there really. Looks good, very sturdy, they fit in there very well, unlike on an LCD3 I had where these came loose. They won't do that on these, at least I hope not, but they haven't seemed to on these. So yeah, physically nothing to complain about really. Other than one thing. As a result of the metal rings, they're even heavier than the LCD3, meaning they weigh in at about 650 grams without the cable, which means they are like a wrench on your head, or rather to your neck, which means when you put them on initially you think, this is comfortable, this is fine, because the pillows are so thick and so on. But give it half an hour or so, you really start to feel it. It gets quite annoying. You can move them around and try to alleviate it and move the weight around and so on and so forth, but let's be honest, that's not really a solution, is it? It's quite annoying. I think Audeze is trying to fix it with the newer headbands and things like the LCD4, but quite frankly, $4,000 for something to make it just, you know, comfortable to wear and not a pain, not really okay, so they need to work on it. But yeah, that's about it really. So the sound, this is where the actual reason why I haven't used them much, because the physical aspects I can get around it. It's not that big of a deal to me. A lot of people have worse issues with it than I do. The sound is in some aspects what I'd hoped, and in others really not. Relative to the LCD3 which I had before, these are vastly less detailed. They are more like the LCD2 in that sense, which is, if you ask me, not acceptable at this price range. Again, these cost, here they cost about twice what a Sennheiser HD800 does, and a Sennheiser HD800 is leagues and bounds ahead of these in about every sense you can even think of, apart from basically the tonality, which a lot of people like more on these, and to be honest I am to a large degree part of that group. But what I will not accept is the fact that the details are so muddied and just woolly. But if you can get over the fact that they are a bit sort of distorted sounding in some ways. Distorted may not be the right word, but very grainy. Grainy is probably a better word. If you get around that fact, you do get a lot more. which is the fact the soundstage, unlike for example the LCD2, the soundstage is much larger, much better. I suspect the LCD3 with the phaser mod on them are probably similar in soundstage. I haven't heard them with the phaser mod, but in general the LCD3 is just about where these are, which is quite good. Not Sennheiser HG800, but some would even argue those are supernatural, if you will. So very good soundstage. Sound signature is where it's really at. They have a very very full mid-range and sort of lower mid-range, but still very present and clear highs, more so than for example the LCD2. And the bass is also present and much more punchy than it is on the other Audeze models, which to my ears at least are very sort of bland and lack energy. They're like, the sound is there, I can hear everything, it's clearly playing what I want it to, but you don't really feel the music. It's sort of just not hitting you. It's like with, for example, a Fostex, you feel the physical punch when the bass hits, or when a drum hits. On something like the LCD3, it just isn't there. And I literally today I listened to it on the Cavalli Audio, what's it called, I can't remember, but the Cavalli Audio tube amplifier, which costs, what is it, about $3,000? What did it cost? I think it's $3,000. In other words, a very good amplifier for them, and even there they don't have it. So it's not just a matter of amp. But these do that. These do have more punch. These do have some physical sort of force behind their sound, which is what I really like about them. That is their strong point. If you like the Audeze sound and you really want that sound, but you want it with more energy, which a lot of the other models, if not all of them, lack, then this is the one for you. However, there's the large caveat of the lack of detail, which you'll have to sort of get around. Either live with it or you'll have to find another solution. In which case, from what I just heard today, I'd say the new second generation of Tesla models from Biodynamic might be something you'd want to look into, because those are beginning to sound more and more like these. But yeah, in general, by and large is a good headphone. The detail level is really unacceptable, but apart from that they are pretty good. If you are a fan of the Audeze sound, you want more punch, these are recommended for you. If you aren't specifically a fan of that sound, I'd say, in all cases, I'd say definitely try to get a listen to them before you buy them, because they are very, very, very expensive for what they deliver. I would probably go as far as, or would definitely, at least in where I live in Europe, these are very overpriced for their performance, but they do have a sound signature that not much else on the market has. So that's what you're buying, it's the sound signature. That and maybe the build quality. So yeah, if that's what you're looking for, I'd recommend them. Otherwise, not so much. But give them a listen if you get the chance. They are worth it, I'd say. Giving a listen, that is. Again, if you want proper detail like the HG800, but with the Audeze sound signature, the LCD3 is what you want to be looking into, possibly the LCD4, but that's way too pricey for me to even consider an option. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. And well, if you like the video, feel free to thumbs up and subscribe. I upload whenever I have something new to show you. I have to buy it all myself, so maybe few and far between at times, but such is life. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.